Are you searching for news and facts without the drama? Look no further, enter the bullshit-free zone right here, right now. Greetings Romies and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup. Welcome to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. As we were expecting last week, this week's news are packed. Before we move to them, just a short info for the card-craft marketing. If you have nothing to say, don't say anything, okay? And Frontier, you know, the guys who dropped the ball with Elite Dangerous, published a video about the upcoming F1 registered manager that tells you everything you already know if you have played Motorsport Manager. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Amazon Prime subscribers can now download WRC8 and don't miss the summer sale at Race Room. Those who are on our Discord already know about it. For the others, the info that not only are cars and tracks reduced by 50% and packs reduced by 25%, the premium pack only costs €50 USD if you pay it with VRPs. Be quick as the sale ends today. And next time, just check our Discord to not miss these kind of offers. After a long time, SCS have published a statement about their Heart of Russia DLC, which was about to be published when Putin started his genocidal war against Ukraine. Slava Ukraini, for the release to be put on hold after that. Since then, many, including us, have asked the company about the fate of the DLC. On a statement released last Monday, SCS has announced it will shelve the DLC indefinitely and until further notice. This is sad, even if completely understandable on many levels. It's sad because we know the truck simulators are a work of love for the SCS team. Of course they want to earn money, but they have shown time and time again that they do that together with a worldwide community of players and are always bringing stuff for free just because it makes them and us happy. The time, effort and in the end money invested into this DLC, which now won't be recouped for the time being, will hurt SCS bottom line. For sure. And they have been incredibly supportive of humanitarian efforts in Ukraine with their Ukraine Paint Job DLC and with direct money to charities. The decision is nevertheless understandable and they seem to have given it a lot of thought, stating, "But since our DLC, Heart of Russia, directly concerns Russia and with so many people suffering, we decided to refrain from releasing the DLC so that it is not perceived in any way as being in support of or tolerance of the aggression." I think it's time for me to buy the Iberia DLC just as a very indirect way of supporting SCS. And we still have a couple of Ukraine Paint Job DLCs to gift to you. Just ping us with Slava Ukraini on our Discord and we'll send you the key. In further news about SCS Truck Simulators, the next DLC for Euro Truck Simulator 2 is going to be the Renault Trucks T-Tuning Pack. We are not big fans of paying for cosmetics, but if you are, more power to you. If you think €20 USD is an acceptable price for this DLC, you will get paint jobs, cabin accessories and many exterior tuning parts such as side skirts, chassis covers, bumpers, fenders, mud flaps, exhaust, sun visors, stone guards, trims, deflectors, front masks and grills, bull bars, light bars, headlight guards and much more. On the other virtual side of the pond, Load King and Prestige trailers are coming to American Truck Simulator in a new DLC, also for the price of €20 USD. If you buy this DLC, you'll get 3 drop decks, 3 flatbeds and 2 grain hoppers from Load King, and 3 drop decks, 3 flatbeds and 1 grain hopper from Prestige, all with different configuration possibilities and axle configurations. Oh, and also markers, chassis, fenders, mud flaps, bodies. Ah, the time of reckoning for some sims. Our monthly usage statistics, analyzed in depth by the finest minds we could find. Hours. The overall number of sim races the past month climbed once again, even if it's not the highest we've ever recorded. That was in February. Within these overall numbers, most of the sims grew in popularity, with Automobilista 2 losing a bit, as do Assetto Corsa Competizione and Cardcraft. As you can see, Assetto Corsa keeps its position at the top of the hill, which it got last month for the very first time since we started collecting and analyzing the data, as while BeamNG grew, it still could not match the growth Assetto Corsa saw last month. These may change with the next update of BeamNG, which should come any day now. As was to be expected, offering all of the content free for 1 week did wonders to the numbers of Reiza. They are not the highest we've registered, but they make a big jump from last month to this month. We'll have to see in the next month and subsequent months if this free week changed the downward trend Reiza was in for good, or if it's only a momentary blip. In any case, we hope the numbers also move Sector 3 to do big changes in the engine, as Reiza is getting more and more dated day by day. What we did not expect was the climb in the numbers for R-Factor 2. Seems the BTCC content put it in the sides of people who before were not interested. Again, not the highest number ever for it, but a healthy climb. And again, we'll have to see how long this is going to last. Even Wreckfest saw its numbers climbing in spite of a dearth of new content. Overall, a good month for the greatest hobby in the world.
It's alive! It's alive!
There he goes again, and he's right, you know. Yes, we've heard some noise coming from announced upcoming projects from Motorsport Games. Let's delve into them. Motorsport Games released what they call the first look at the upcoming Indycar game. If they really reflect the car model from the Indycar game, it looks quite good. I mean, it's some stills of an Indycar, 3 of them on a track somewhere, which could equally be from R-Factor 2. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Also, when this guy is being digitalized, you know they mean business. And if you don't know who he is, ask us in the comments. Next, there's either some people very addicted to drama in our community or Motorsport Games and the BTCC have patched things up. Either way, Motorsport Games brought out a press release on Thursday about having put a promotional plan together with the BTCC for the official BTCC game. Now, let's be clear, making a joint decision about a marketing plan is not something you normally published about in a press release. But it's very clear Motorsport Games are nervous about the critical voices in the sim racing community, which of course became louder after the NASCAR 21 catastrophe. In any case, they plan to bring out tech content demos on R-Factor 2 and further content releases before bringing the BTCC game out in 2024. If we parse the marketing and management bullshit of the press release right, they will clean up some of the R-Factor 2 code base and add some of the development of Cardcraft, maybe the Unreal 5 stuff, before 2024 and put it into the BTCC game. But the press release sounds like a marketing idiot understanding only half of what a management idiot told him about what he understood from the developers, which doesn't seem to have been much. Or they are keeping everything obscure because they fear to have their food in their mouths like they had to do with NASCAR 21. Coming back to the marketing plans, it seems there will be events specifically about the BTCC game during BTCC events starting in the second half of the 2022 season based on R-Factor 2. So now you have it. The paid cars and tracks they released in Q2 were their way to make you pay for their marketing. That's how much they are strapped for cash at the moment. Also, Motorsport Games will release more BTCC branded content into R-Factor 2 during this and next year. BTCC branded is a strange way to put it, in it. Is it official BTCC content or just BTCC branded? Is it meant as content not officially accepted and homologated by the BTCC, or did again the combination of an idiot marketer with an idiot manager bear a stupid sentence? I mean, even Codemasters marketing had a better grasp of racing and English, and that's saying something. But coming back to what we were saying at the beginning, Indycar seems to start becoming a thing. BTCC is still on board with Motorsport Games. Like the well-behaved marketers they are, EA has released a new trailer for F1 22 with a list of features we are all waiting eagerly or not to play. They've apparently adapted the physics to the new regulations, and while you can't expect R-Factor 2 or Automobilista 2 level of physics from the F1 games, they're quite okay for a simcade. So if EA didn't pull an EA, they could be quite interesting. They've introduced the sprint races F1 now has, and then we come to the EA bullshit of having your own room, wardrobe or non-F1 cars, because the micropayments have to be placed somewhere, I suppose. They've also introduced adaptive AI, the wonderful buzzword that means the AI will be too hard or too easy to beat for me, as the almighty algorithms are tuned to your every movement. And yes, once again they confirm VR support, which we already knew, but it's a really nice thing to add, considering we've had many versions of Nakon's WRC Sims without it. If you like this video and would like to see more, consider becoming a patron, thus letting us spread our wings. Amongst other perks, it will fix your name for posterity like this. A big thank you to our patrons. If you come here regularly, please consider subscribing. If I didn't know better, I'd swear they were doing it to spite us. 1 hour before we went public with a video of last week's news, Reiza published a release candidate of their new version of Automobilista 2, which we expect to have gone live at the moment of the release of this video. Anyway, there is no new content in Automobilista 2 this time, but very, very juicy physics updates. It's a geek fest for sure. From the list of general corrections and bug fixes, one has a bigger impact than you may think, and we'll tell you why in a bit. Let this sentence and its connotations sink in for the time being. Added engine vibration depending on engine layout and firing order output. Those who've been following our news with regards to Automobilista 2 will already know what it all comes down to. By the way, the link to the whole detailed list is as always in the description of the video. Let's go back to Reiza's list of bug fixes and improvements. Some smaller corrections to the UI and HUD have been added to the small general corrections, and as always the physics changes list is the longer one. Open wheelers like the F Classic, V12, V10 and so on have seen tire, suspension and aero revisions, as have some closed wheelers like the GT5 and GT40 Cup, so it's a good idea if you reset their setup. Open wheelers have also seen a revision of the flexible axles and the driveline elasticity, and Opalas, Pumas, Camaro SS and Group C cars now also have flexible axles. You can check the video up there for our explanation of what the flexible axles mean and be ready to geek out enormously. After they corrected the scale in the model of the Super V8 cars, they are changing its physics to fit the scale in, of course, 1001 details. You'd better reset the setup here too. Group A cars saw an extensive revision of the clutch physics. You may have to train using the clutch on those more. And the Puma P052 had the turbo and engine base power corrected, as well as the fuel consumption and the engine inertia. Added to that, there's many other small details in the physics of many other cars that Reiza implemented. They did some work on the AI, calibrating it for many car series and correcting the AI cutting the pit exit line when going out of the pits in Kansai, and tweaking the corner speeds of the AI in Daytona, which was also the only track which saw an extensive-ish correction of the shaking of the pit cam. On to the cars. Reiza has added damage and dangling parts to all Caterhams, Chevettes, Passats and Unos, as well as fixing the reverse lights, adjusting the lights glow texture and revising the collision maps. Mercedes' AMG GT3s and Porsche Cup cars got new liveries, and the analog gauges in Opalas, Lotus 49CS, F Retro Gen 3s and McLaren MP4 1C have also been revised. We still owe you an explanation of that sentence and what it means, so behold, you are entering the geek zone. Reiza only drops one line about one of the geekiest things they have done in this update, one that shows how they continue to work upon simulating every piece of the car. The line is as follows: added engine torque effect on chassis and live rear axle if car has one. What does this mean? If you have seen video images of cars revving up while standing still, you may have noticed the chassis moving up at one side and down at the other. This is because of the torque exerted by the motor. At the end of the day, a motor is a big pile of parts turning so that in the end the wheels turn. What Reiza have done here is applying this torque not only to the motor and the chassis part having directly to do with the motor, which is already no small feat, but they have extended that effect also to the rear axle, which of course transmits the torque forces to other parts of the car. They've even tweaked how the differential reacts to that. And so we come to the sentence we talked about a minute before: added engine vibration depending on engine layout and firing order output. What have Reiza done now? They have set the physics up in a way where the vibration of the engine parts and of the engine as a whole is noticeable through force feedback, and have continued with the physics applying the torque of that engine by itself as well as through the axle to the chassis. And if we understand the sentence directly overrides calculated firing pulse distances, it seems Reiza even calculates how far the pistons are propelled by the explosion after every firing, which is bonkers time 2 and geeky as heck, but that's Reiza for you. Once again, Reiza are working on simulating every nut and bolt of the car and its relationship to the car, the physics, and therefore the force feedback. Mind blowing. Geek stuff squared. You may or may not like the graphics, that's okay, but the physics are becoming otherworldly. And you may like more of our videos, which you can watch if you check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.